I mean, how does the rescue sort of transpire then, Edgar? I mean, at what point do you start to, I mean, obviously you add 2 more days to that, conditions continue to deteriorate and getting worse. You're kind of trying to move towards the Philippines, as you say, and tell us about that moment where you start to see something.
Well, okay, I was at the point where there was 17 of us, and we had a real prayer meeting, and we knew that someone had to help us, a higher power had to help us, that we aren't going to live. And so we're pouring our hearts out to the Lord, and after a period of time, we came upon a swell, and we looked and said, look, there's something out there that looks like a raft. Well, after a period of time, a little raft came into our group. There were 5 sailors around the makeshift of a raft. But when they came into our group, we could see no one is on the raft. Why not? Why no one's on the raft? Well, when they came into our group, we could see why. It wouldn't hold anyone. The little raft is made of 2 40-millimeter ammunition cans and 2 or 3 old slatted, like potato crate or slatted orange crates. Wow. They had those lashed together, and they'd taken cape-out jackets off of boys already expired and put them up on, squeezed them out and put them up on that little raft. And so they said that we've got a spare tire. Well, when they came into our group, then they could see that by now we are seated in our cape-out jackets, and they showed us how we could take our jackets off and take one that at least is a little drier, but at least hold a little more water. And we exchanged a bit, and they said, anyone want to join us? We've got to get close enough to the Philippines because we see planes flying at 30,000 feet, but we've got to get closer to the Philippines. Anyone want to join us? And I say to my Marine buddy, Spooner, I'm going to go with them. He says, Harold, if you go, I'm going with you. So 2 sailors joined 5 sailors, and we're going to push a little raft to the Philippines. Now, we didn't know it was another 500 miles, but when you see a group of 80 go down to 17, it's time to do something. So we joined them, and we started out, and we were making some headway. No one was on the raft, but we had spare tires, so to speak, on that raft. And we're plugging away, and sometime later that day in the afternoon, we could look out, and we saw a little makeshift of something out there. We wondered, is that just an old crate? Well, I wonder what it could be, and there was a compelling influence that said, go and see what it is. So I told my brothers, I said, I'm going to swim out and get that maybe it could be some food, or maybe it could be some water. And so I did a dog paddle and went out and got that, and when I got within 6 feet or so of that, I could see the rotten potatoes floating in that old potato crate. And in desperation, I reach in and get hold of that first potato, but somewhat in the agony of defeat, all of that rot was squeezing between my fingers, and I thought, rotten potatoes, but it was solid on the inside. So I take my hands and I peel that potato, then I take my mouth and peel it some and don't spit out all the rot. I'm desperate for some water, for some food, and then I begin to think I've got to fill my dungaree pockets full of these, for later and for my buddies. And then I began to swim back with that old potato crate with still a lot of potatoes in it. My buddies hollered out, what is it? Rotten potatoes, but they left a raft and they came out and joined me. And all we had was some rotten potatoes, but they were solid on the inside. We had a little food and a little water, and that's all the water then that I had for 4.5 days, and yet was swimming most of the time. Now, let's go through that day. We go to the last day,